I'm back. About yesterday. Okay, so I'm not going to pretend yesterday's stream didn't happen, but I am feeling a little bit better today. Now, I will say that's just a prime example of how I feel every day. That's insanity. But I'm going to try and change the topic today. We're going to oh my god, I forgot just how bad this was. Did they have like a paintball fight in here? You actually switched to kick? Permanently no, temporarily yes. I'm in my sad that I don't have a community slash followers phase. I very much want people to watch my streams, but the problem is, nobody's watching my streams. Can't, for whatever reason, get my streaming stuff to grow. And one person who went and interviewed people. I have noticed that Kick seems to be a dumping grounds for everyone that was kicked off of YouTube and Twitch. So it is the land of degeneracy. But I'm not a degenerate, and it's still a legitimate streaming platform. So we're gonna try it out. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the paintball mold in GoldenEye 64. But I have to try, every avenue at my disposal. And we haven't really given Kick its fair shake yet. So we're going to see how this works out. It probably won't work out, but Dan for 7 days making a joke about it. You make dark jokes on television. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's my take on it too. Like, I don't know. I rest somewhere squarely in the middle. Look at the little hand. I rest somewhere squarely in the middle between, like, being reasonably PC and then, like, freedom of speech rules where you can make jokes, I don't know. I don't really ever say anything, though, that goes against the TOS on Twitch and YouTube, so I don't really have to worry about it. Although we know how flippant they are about their TOS, it changes from week to week. So, but I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm basically over here on Kick for a little bit to see if I can't get some new eyeballs on my stuff. I will say Twitch is the more sensitive of all the platforms. But again, I don't really ever say or do anything that which is one of the things I was talking about yesterday. The only people that are ever here are you and Lewis and maybe a few people from the Discord. What if I multi-streamed? I would love to multi-stream, but Streamlabs locks it behind a paywall. This is probably the dirtiest, grimiest thing we've seen yet. Out of all the stuff we've washed, this might be the worst. Oh yeah, you told me about that before. Well, I mean, I can use OBS. OBS was the first thing I used before Streamlabs became a thing. And then for a little bit I was confused because I was like, they're the same thing, and people were like, no, they're not. It's all the same branding though. It's literally called Streamlabs OBS. But I don't know. It feels like a lot of effort for very little payoff. I can't get people to watch my stream when I'm streaming to one platform at a time, let alone trying to stream to multiple platforms at a time. We got to get more eyeballs on the stream before I can worry about multi-streams, you know? That's my logic anyway. I don't know. You might say that, well, if you multi-stream, you'd have more eyeballs. I don't know. I talked about this at length yesterday, you know, like I've been doing this for 9 years and I have not been able to grow an audience whatsoever. I bet I have to get the ladder and get up there and get those. Bird. IRL. I have my windows open today. There are, you know, like you said, there are other software options out there. There's StreamYards. I see a lot of people using StreamYards. I don't know how good StreamYards is. I also see a lot of people fighting with StreamYards, so I don't know. Wait, what is that? Soap comes to the Prima Vista range of power washers. The split screen. It's like somebody just exploded one of those cosmic birthday cakes. This is nuts. I have to get here, get this angle. Make it a content house. I would love to live in a content house. It would be awful and cringe, and I'm sure we'd get a lot of good content out of it. The only problem is I don't know anybody else's streams. I mean, my buddy Kai streams sometimes, but he doesn't do it full time like I do. So I don't know. I'd live in a content house. Everyone I've ever seen has been cringe as hell. People apparently love cringe. That camera's around the house. You can switch your webcam. Yeah. The best thing to do is to give the audience control of the camera. Let them be able to switch between cameras. That's how I would set it up. I don't know. I've never watched the television versions of that kind of thing, like Big Brother or whatever. I'm aware of it, but I've never watched it myself. I'm more video game focused though, so I don't. That kind of goes outside of my wheelhouse. Because like my whole channel is, it's supposed to be about the about gaming, and then my life as a gamer. The vlogs are supposed to give you a kind of an insight into my life, and then we play the games, but it doesn't really work out that way a lot of the time. I kind of low key have been I kind of low key been hoping that it would be cyclical like everything else in the world is. Like, obviously, this day and age, if you're streaming, you need some sort of hook or angle. Although that's kind of true about most everything, especially in the entertainment business. And I don't really have a hook or an angle. I just sit down and play the games vanilla style and hang out and chat with chat. I guess people don't really care for that anymore as a form of entertainment. But I was kind of hoping people would come back around to it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything as long as TikTok is a fucking thing. Everybody's got that. I don't fucking TikTok. I hate TikTok. I hate short form content. I really do. They did a study that shows it's not good for the brain. I posted that video a few months ago in the Discord. Well, see, I did that for a little bit. I actually did have my own TikTok account briefly for a bit. I would upload clips from this over to there, but nobody was watching on TikTok either. I think at the end of the day, it's just me. Like, common denominator. I just don't think anybody's interested in watching me. Like I said, I talked about that at length yesterday. Sad. Sad, 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 sad. Bet if I was playing Fortnite. They'd come a running. Oh man, you are in the way. Here, what if I set you crunch on? Yeah, lay down. Oh, wait, did I not get the handle? Well, I mean, yeah, everything in reality is, um, you know, you can drink too much water and die, believe it or not. Everything's about moderation, but specifically, um, the study they did showed that like short term content doesn't do the brain any favors, like smoking or whatever. It's just one of those things to where, because like you can actually get on YouTube and watch documentaries. You can get on YouTube and watch educational content. So YouTube inherently isn't bad for you. It can actually be good for you if you use the platform in a smart way. TikTok, on the other hand, I've never in my life seen anything on TikTok that's not conspiracy theories, some idiot dancing, misinformation out the yin yang. It's bad. It's real bad. TikTok is like just it's cancer, and I hate it. I installed a short blocker on my YouTube Shorts. I installed a Shorts blocker on my web browser. Yeah, and see that's the thing too. You have to be careful because a lot of times you'll think you're watching something educational over on TikTok, but it'll be false information. You have to really be careful about that. And see, the danger inherently with that is like, think about this for a moment. Go back to a day and age before the internet existed. Go back to when I was a kid. We went to school, we literally had books, papers, pencils. We didn't have tablets, we didn't have cell phones. The closest thing to an electronic device we had was a calculator, and we didn't even have those until I was way on up into like high school, and we needed them for special tests and stuff. So if you get something, you get something wrong in a textbook, that could be pretty devastating because schools can use the same textbook for generations. But here comes the internet, and you can put like a community note that tells people, "Hey, this poster's full of shit. This is false," and I think that's great. I really do. I think that's a good thing. Um, I didn't know that Meta did that now. I'm seeing it on Threads. I'm seeing it on Instagram. I'm seeing it in a lot of places now. Because I signed up for the community notes program through Meta. So a lot of times it'll prompt me and say, "Do you want to leave a community note here?" Now I think that's good. I definitely think that's a positive. But I don't know if that's something they do on TikTok again because I'm not on TikTok. But like before TikTok existed, you had to deal with that kind of thing on Facebook because all the boomers and like my parents, I'm a millennial, my parents are boomers. They get on Facebook, they read some random article, they take it as gospel. They don't know any better. They were never their generation was never taught how to look anything up or fact check. They were never taught how to think critically. They were never taught media literacy. They don't know how to discern fake news from real news, fake articles from real articles. They just see something outrageous and their brain is immediately accepts it as truth. Not that millennials are too much better about that because I've been getting got by AI a lot lately. I'll see something online and I'll be like, "Huh, that's really neat." And then I'll send it to Tyler and he's like, "Dude, that's AI. That's not real." And I'm like, "Oh, God damn it." So now I'm the boomer. But the downside to it is when, people again, have they didn't grow up with the internet, so they don't understand media literacy. They don't have that ability to discern whether something sounds fishy or not. So they just go with it. I don't know. But all of that aside, the study I was referring to had nothing to do with any of that. It literally was talking about the effects of short term content on the brain, like your attention span and stuff like that. You're getting quick dopamine bites. It's like when you take a full candy bar like a Snickers and you buy a big bag of Snicker bites and they're the tiny little Snicker bites. That's what TikTok is to your brain. Instead of sitting down, having a full candy bar for dessert and saying that was delicious, now I have a sugar rush, I can go do something, or this is satiating, this will hold me over till dinner. You're just sitting there eating a full bag of fucking little mini Snickers that are not good for you. The sugar's going to rot your teeth. You're going to put on weight. Yada, yada, yada. My point is, the study showed that those tiny little dopamine hits from watching things like reels, shorts, TikToks, all that stuff, it's it has a negative adverse effect on the human brain. Unfortunately for streamers like me who are salty about TikTok for, you know, personal reasons, like obviously I have a stake in this fight because if you're on TikTok watching TikTok, you're not over here watching me. So obviously I'm going to bitch about it and be salty about it. But my saltiness aside, the study found what the study found, and people aren't happy about it. They don't want to give up their TikTok. Oh, no. Lewis, what up? Well, like I said, I had a TikTok briefly, but it wasn't getting any views like the rest of my stuff. So I gave up. There are some days where I sit back and I'm like, I think about you and I think about Lewis specifically, and I'm like, why do you guys even watch me? What makes me so special? How do you find me entertaining? Because God knows ain't nobody else watching. So sometimes I think about that. Sometimes I try to figure you guys out. Stuck. I thought that might ding if I hit it from down here, but nope. I think we have the windows covered. No. Like, I still see dirt. I see the dirt. It's not showing up there, though. I don't know. I'm just showing the ID. Yeah, that's fair. I think when we finish the inside of this train car, that might be it for this area. Last night, Tyler and I tried to. Looks like Venom exploded in here. It really does. Last night we tried to play Lethal Company and Peak. We just can't get anywhere with those games. It's very frustrating. This is definitely worse than like this goes beyond like dirt and grime. Somebody deliberately set off some sort of bath bomb or something in here. This is crazy. Oh, hang on. This is Spider-Man. What's up, dude? No, you know me like this. Hey, sometimes I have to take a break from chat and focus on the floor. I'm sitting here thinking about what we could talk about. Boo, Wendy. I didn't expect to see you today. Okay. Now I got to start getting the little nooks and crannies. Oh yeah, y'all have a thing to go do today, don't you? What you gonna play? Did you know that Square Enix made this game? That blew my mind yesterday when I saw that. But we're entering that 99% territory where we got to hunt down the one tiny little speck that's holding up the whole job. Looking. I'm a looking. Anybody see anything? Anything at all? I didn't think I'd be as big a fan of the simulator games as I am. I started out years ago. I played Goat Simulator for a little bit and thought, oh, this is wacky fun. And I moved on to this. I need to start playing some of the other simulator games. Now, like something like, say, Farm Simulator. That I don't necessarily have any interest in, but the wacky, goofy simulator games I do have an interest in. Like something like this, for example. Bench seat cushions. Which ones? Which ones are the offenders? You. Hey, damn. Headlights. Oh, that means going back out here. American Truck Simulator drunk. Oh, that is hilarious. See, I've been thinking about playing the Truck Simulator games. I talked about this yesterday, but I don't think that I'm covering enough games fast enough. I might start treating the streaming stuff like a 9 to 5 job. I might start waking up every day and streaming for like 8 hours a day and just doing massive dumps of content on YouTube. Because like nobody's watching anyway. I talked about that at length yesterday. Like, you know, I've been doing this for 9 years. Outside of a few of you guys, I don't really get any viewers. So what would change if I just started doing like a 9 to 5 shift? You know? Because I got like 18 Pokemon games going at the moment, and I really would like to finish those up and be done with Pokemon for a while. I really want to start Sonic Frontiers. I've had that game sitting in my Steam account forever, and I haven't played it yet. Stray is another game that I've had sitting in my thing that I want to play. Katamari Damacy. Like, my playlist is pretty huge. And I just keep not getting around to these games because Nintendo has its hooks in me. It's like every time I turn around, I'm playing a Nintendo game. That's harder to break than you think it is. I promise. When you grew up on it. It says headlights. Headlights. But we just blasted all the headlights. I didn't see any damn dirt. Artemis is watching. Artemis, Mr. Kitty. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the dirt. I feel lighted. Nah, probably not. I don't really drink. I don't like alcohol. I could get some gummies and do the edible thing and stream high. I would do that before I stream drunk. But I don't really like getting drunk or high. I don't see what people see in it. I don't like it. Is weed legal in Alabama? I don't know. I think so. I think the whole thing with weed is it's been decriminalized. It's still like technically illegal everywhere. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I do know that I can get the gummies legally. Oh, there it is. I did look into it. I can get CBD and the other one. What's the other one? There's CBD and weed, and then there's the other thing. I can legally buy the gummies. Yeah, like all those Delta 9 gummies and stuff like that. Those are legal in the state of Alabama. I checked. I've ordered them a few times off the internet. I don't know. Much like Tyler here, I'm heavy on the ADHD, and I don't know how that affects other people with weed and stuff. But for me personally, I like going in the opposite direction. I'm usually drinking soda or Monster energy drinks. I'm usually like on the upper end. I'm usually pretty caffeinated, and I like to stay wired and busy. The idea of like getting drunk or stoned and then becoming a couch potato has zero appeal to me whatsoever. You got high when the dentist put you on the nitrous oxide. Well, I'll be honest with you. If I'm going to the dentist, I want them to fuck me up as much as possible. If I come out of a dentist trip remembering anything, I'm going to be pissed. I don't want to feel or remember anything from the dentist. No offense, dentist. I don't. Windows. Bench seat dividers. Yeah. Maybe in this train car? Ping. We got the floors. Double sheet cushions. Oh snap, I did miss a spot, didn't I? Whoops. Emergency alarm. What? Ping ping. Emergency exit pull tabs. Yeah. You can't be putting people on your streams without consent. That's a big no-no. Some of these people. Like I'm sitting here bemoaning about how I don't really have an audience or a lot of people watching me at any given point, but I'd rather have no audience than to like be that, disrespectful to people. Emergency alarm. Emergency exit pull tabs. Okay, what the fuck is it? Or emergency exit pull tab? Isn't it usually like one of those strap doohickeys that you pull? I'm not seeing those. Hmm. I don't know. Oh, these green things. Okay. Front advertisement boards. What? You're sneaky snake in the grass. Grab rails. Seven of 8. Wait, is that Pikachu? It is Pikachu. Him's just chilling. Just chilling back there. I actually got that Pikachu back in the 20 teens. Somewhere 2014, 15, 16, somewhere in the 20 teens, like the middle teens. And I gave it to my sister back when I was trying to stop myself from buying a million plushies. And it's been sitting on a shelf in her bedroom for years. And she recently emptied out her room because they had some water damage, so they had to pull up the floor, put down new floor. They're gonna repaint the whole room. Just general, like, what do you call it? Basically remodeling the whole room. And she decided to get rid of a bunch of stuff. And I was like, "You're not going to get rid of the little Pikachu, are you? I'll take him back." Actually, I found a way to make Pikachu a viable Pokemon. You can give him the hold item Evilite, or you can give him a light ball. Under the right circumstances, Pikachu can be kind of a badass. All right. Inner cab door window. Which window? Oh, I can see it glowing from here. Electric types aren't very good. Yeah, they do have a bad habit of doing that. They make a bird for every region, a bug for every region, a Pikachu clone for every region. That I do kind of wish they'd stray away from. Focus on making wholly original Pokemon. Inner windows. Rear ceiling panel. Rear ceiling panel. Just one little spray. Ping! Roof vents. Which one is still filthy? I think most people probably will I think most people do kind of just leave Pikachu alone. I don't think I've ever really seen anybody use one competitively. What do you think is the next bird Pikachu cover? I don't know. I do think that they're making a huge mistake when it comes to Pokemon as far as like recycling. They're not making enough new Pokemon based on real world animals. We have too many of the same Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like, we literally have one dolphin, one zebra, but we have tons of caterpillars and birds and dogs and cats. And it's like, Can we get some Pokemon based on animals we don't actually have? Oh yeah, I talked about the whole gut bacteria thing not too long ago on stream. So like, there's Pokerus. I don't know if you're familiar with Pokerus. Um, so based on the way that the Pokemon games have always been presented, along with the anime and everything else, we're kind of led to believe that humans at some point came from our reality into the Pokemon reality. I don't think humans are native to that universe. We also know that Arceus created that universe. Now, where did Arceus come from? Who the hell knows? But we know that entire universe was spawned into existence thanks to Arceus. We also know, thanks to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, that you can go light years away from Earth and still find the same Pokemon. Like you could go through the ultra wormholes and you were still finding legendary Pokemon without having regional variants on another planet somewhere. So that kind of answers that question too. Pokemon being, we do have regional forms and everything, but they kind of being a universal design, which in our reality is something that's up for hot debate too, whether or not life would look the same, everywhere. Uh, Obviously, life evolves along the lines of its environment. So we look the way we look as living things because of our environment. And our environment is dictated by our planet's proximity to our star, along with a half dozen other factors. So, yeah. I'm just flapping my gums at this point. But we all have microbiomes. We have bacteria on our skin, on our eyelashes, in our mouth, in our gut. Um, you know, when we use the restroom, we're excreting tons of bacteria in our waste. Like, our bodies are riddled with other living things. Like, we're not just one living thing. And that goes for pretty much all life on Earth. So with Pokemon, are there microscopic Pokemon? Are there germ Pokemon? Are there bacteria Pokemon? All we really know at this point is we have Pokerus, and they don't delve into it any deeper than that. But I'm waiting on them to do that because it's something that I can't get off my mind. Also, what the fuck is a roof vent? You would figure it'd be these bitches, right? Is it something outside that I need to tackle? No. Wait a minute. The roof vents don't. Hold up. Hold up. How do the vents work? They're not on top of the train. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, this makes no sense. How did my ladder get back over here? The game is fucking with me. I think I did, yeah. I'll have to go back and double check. My ability to create long-term memories isn't so great anymore. Now, hold on. Standing seat? What the hell is a standing seat? That's an oxymoron. How do you have a standing seat? You're either standing or sitting. You can't do both. The fuck? I'm so confused. What? What is a standing seat? The fuck? This? That hurt my brain. Lord. Yeah, you can drop it in chat if you want because you'll have to refresh my memory on what you're talking about. Inner windows. I think the standing seats broke me. Yay! Look at me go. Disappeared for a long time and came back. Ta-da! Clean the sculpture part. Oh my god. Go back to career mode. Oh god. Clean the ancient statue. I work with your friend Hopper from the Global Archaeological Society, and we desperately need your help. All the recent seismic activity, coupled with the worst storm in living memory, has unearthed the most extraordinary statue I've ever seen. We've no idea who made it or when, but we're hoping that with your help, these questions will start to get answered. Where am I now? I know where I am. Where's this statue? Oh, look at him. Big guy. Damn. Wash them titties. How do I know? Ah, okay. So get rid of the brown dirt. Okay. Wouldn't this be a quick? This might be a quick job. Bing. Hold up. So it's going to ping in sections. Okay. Well, how come this one didn't do it? There you go. Armpit. Clean them stank of pets. Nipple. heard that. Weird desert creatures. I'm gonna have to get a ladder and climb you like a tree. This is nice. Got the lovely weather for this. The pollen has started. Everything here is covered in pollen. I wonder if he used to be a full statue. Or if he really was just kind of like a bust. The hell was that? Oh shit, he has some sort of fin? Why does he have a fin? What kind of mythology did they have going on here? You know, in 1,000 years, if humans can make it that far, they're going to look back and say, can you believe what people used to believe? I kind of wish we were to that point now. This is so weird. Here we go. The main antagonist is a woman who believes what your Pokemon battle is inhumane. Using himself. All the Pokemon in this game are robot Pokemon versus the real one. I saw online saying, come find out if these key Pokemon safe. Well, to connect on Pokemon using them for our own power. You can see correction like on her pawn using her Pokemon battle stuff. The sensor is kind of based on real world vegan hygiene way. That's they kind of have done that. They've touched on that a little bit. Yeah, it made sense. So Team PETA in black and white believed that battling Pokemon was wrong and that humans should not capture Pokemon in Pokeballs and that we should live separately from Pokemon. Like, we should have our towns and cities and Pokemon should have the wilderness. And there's a lot of real world influence that went into that because it's kind of the way PETA feels and a lot of other organizations feel, that we shouldn't be eating animals or using them for laboratory testing or even keeping them as pets, so on and so forth. And then in Scarlet and Violet, you had the future Pokemon. They were all robots. Um, I kind of thought at first they might be androids, android being part robot, part bioorganism. But no, from what best I can tell, the those future robot Pokemon are all machine, I guess. I don't know. But that would be an entire game in and of itself, instead of like a quick, because in Scarlet and Violet it was such a short contained story element in Area Zero, towards the end of the game. um, but we don't know how far into the future you have to go to get to those robot Pokemon. And it's a possibility they could be from another reality too. They're not necessarily from our future timeline. They could even be from just like a possible future timeline. There were so many questions that kind of went unanswered with all of that in Scarlet and Violet, but that would be a good explanation for where they came from. In the future, we feel that kind of Pokemon battling is inhumane or whatever. So instead, we use robots. Team Plasma, that was their name. Team PETA. That's what they were. But the way that Game Freak has always explained it, Pokemon enjoy battling. It's just another part of their nature, you know. I have to get a ladder now and start getting these nooks and crannies. Really? I need a ladder. For the most part, I don't think Pokemon get hurt necessarily when they battle. I think it's more of like a effort and energy situation. I think they can get hurt sometimes. In the anime, they've kind of the way that they kind of explained it in the anime is that you can battle Pokemon and they'll be just fine. But some people can take battling too far and actually let the Pokemon get hurt. The anime has addressed it on numerous occasions, like just vanilla battling Pokemon doesn't hurt them. But if you are like a terrible trainer that can't admit defeat and you just keep pushing your Pokemon past their limit, yeah, that would probably hurt them. And the games and the anime have touched on that before in the past. The same as it is in our reality, humans or animals or both. Like, there's a resting point that needs to occur after you've been physically active. And if you're pushing your Pokemon too far, that's just animal abuse. You know what I just realized? I bet I can get over there and walk on that and get up here and get this top part. I bet that's what I'm supposed to do. I wonder what stone this is made out of. But yes, I do remember you putting that in the Discord because I remember reading it now. I do remember that very much so. The only problem inherently would be that it would cut out so much of, well, no, I guess you could do it in a way to where, I was going to say, because it cuts out a lot of the nature element of Pokemon if they're all just robots or whatever. But you could do both. Thank goodness I can get up here. Can you get my back for me? I hear the dogs barking. Oh, man. My stomach's growling. Now, let me tell you what. There'll still be Magikarp or replace him too. No, we have to keep Magikarp. After I finished streaming yesterday, I don't remember what time I finished. I don't remember what time it was IRL when I finished up yesterday's stream slash episode of Power Wash Simulator. But I was so in my own head and funked up and depressed and just miserable. I ended up going into town. I went to Little Caesars and bought myself a pepperoni pizza, and I sat in the Walmart parking lot and ate that whole bitch by myself, which is not unusual. I can eat an entire pizza by myself. I could probably put away 2 whole pizzas by myself. I've always been good about putting away food. I can put some food away now. But yeah, I didn't even give a fuck. Diet, all of it be damned. I sat there and ate that greasy ass pizza in that parking lot. I did not give a fuck. It needed to happen. I was miserable yesterday. I don't know who this figure's supposed to be. I don't know if it's some made-up deity or if it's some actual figure from one of the mythologies. I don't know. I know he's filthy. We're going to give him a proper bath. Quite an impressive statue. Whatever civilization made this. Damn. Oh my god. It's going to be one of those situations where no matter how much I try, there's always going to be a speck somewhere. Lord. Okay, we get it, birds. We get it. It's the desert. That's a draw line. I guess that's a helmet of some sort. And that's an ear. Pointy ass elven ear. Well, if you binge watch it every day, all day, you might be able to catch up. Maybe. Boy, these birds are not having a good day. They are just screamy as fuck. What's funny is I don't remember when One Piece started. I remember it just came out of nowhere years ago, and I was like, okay. A lot of these little animes are just showing up out of nowhere, and they get insanely popular, and I'm like, so not confused, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm super hyper focused on getting this done. Because we're doing this statue in one sitting. We are not coming back in tomorrow with this statue. Hell no. It's too small a job for that. I did get intensely focused, didn't I? I did all that talking at the subway car. Now I'm just like, zooming in with my eyes and super focused. Well, I like the animes that go for 2 seasons, like the 52 episode animes. Because sometimes the 12 episode story arcs are a little too small. But sometimes you get a good one and you're like, oh, it ends after just 12 episodes. I wanted to see more from this. So I think 52 is perfect. Because all the best animes I've ever seen ran for roughly 50 some odd episodes. I think that's perfect. And I think they should all stop after that. Unless, and I do stress unless, it's rolling pretty well and it like makes logical sense to keep going, then just keep going. But like even with the Pokemon anime back in the 90s, they had only intended to do it for a year. And then it just kind of never stopped. Oh no, I fell. $1,155. See, that's excessive. You don't need that many episodes to tell a story. That's beyond excessive. That's just ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all like the universes we like, but at a certain point, you got to know when to stop. Like overeating, sometimes you just got to know to put down the fork. And hey, that applies to my favorite franchises as well. Sometimes you got to know when you've lost the plot, when you've done enough, you know. Now, how the fuck am I supposed to get to his face? Shut up, bird. Well, big deep world bonding and character development. Well, like I said, sometimes you can go past the 52 episode mark. If you've created something pretty phenomenal and you've got a rich world that everybody loves and it hasn't gotten stale after like 2 seasons, I guess it's fine to keep that going for a little bit. But if an anime breaks like, I don't know, 4, 5, 10, 22 seasons, maybe it's time to roll it back. Because like Pokemon just kept going and going and going and going and going and going, and it shouldn't have. It should have stopped. But the anime fueled the sales for the merchandise, so of course they're not going to stop. Then there are things like Dragon Ball Z. That kept going because it, had high ratings and did so well. But I think, and this is where we get into me not knowing what I'm talking about territory. We're getting away from opinion territory and getting into me not really knowing much about the topic I'm talking about. So take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But I want to say we take something like Dragon Ball Z. The manga was doing so well that it kept fueling the show. Unless it's vice versa. I don't know. I don't know much about manga. I really don't. I don't really know that much about anime either. That's like with I had started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then I got to a point where I was like, I'm bored with this. You know what I mean? It's just the same story every season. And I got insanely bored with it and just stopped watching it altogether. Not that the first two seasons were any, I don't know. It didn't grab me, I guess. I didn't find it a compelling story. It's kind of like with literature. I've started reading more lately, and I'm having a hard time finding books that entertain me. That's why I like Michael Crichton as much as I do. That's why he's my favorite author, and it has nothing to do with Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's not even his best novel, I don't think. But I like the stories he tells and the universes that he builds. I like the sci-fi, the way he does sci-fi. It's not generic pew pew Star Wars sci-fi that I like. I don't like that kind of sci-fi. When it comes to sci-fi, I like it to be real and believable. And I love how a lot of the time when you're reading a Michael Crichton novel, it can be like very dry and sciencey in some parts. And I eat that shit up with a spoon because it makes the universe feel believable. So I don't know. I don't know. Manga. I don't know. Isn't that tomato? I don't know. It's like mukbang. Nobody really knows. I guess you could ask the Koreans, but I don't know. I'm very particular when it comes to entertainment and media because so much of it is a cynical cash grab. And a lot of times something might start out as pure and innocent and might be rich in story and environment and character building and all that good stuff. And then it turns into a cynical cash grab. So, I don't know. When I was younger, I didn't know any better, and I was always like, I want more from this universe. I want more stories. I want more shows, more movies from whatever I was into at the time. But over the years, I have grown to understand that, you know, it should be quality over quantity. And a lot of times that gets tossed out the window. Because obviously quantity is going to make money. Chinny chin chin. Little pig, wash my statue. $93%. This is going to be an angle for sure that we have to fight with. You don't like sci-fi to be believable? Well, that's what I was saying. Like, to me, there's two versions of sci-fi. There's the fantastical, like space station on the moon or Star Wars shooting lasers in space sci-fi. Then there's the dry sciency, like we got dinosaur DNA out of a fossilized mosquito in amber. I prefer the latter myself because the first one's just a little too cartoony for me. But then again, I'm old, so um, manga. The proper pronunciation, manga is incorrect pronunciation. English speakers make proof. Yeah, see, that happens a lot. You'll know something is incorrect, but it's just part of our zeitgeist now to say manga, so everybody says manga. To me, the manga thing kind of comes off like Mario. Even in the games themselves, the characters will say Mario. But sometimes you'll get somebody who's very adamant. It's like, no, it's Mario. I'm just like, no, it's Mario. His name is even pronounced inside the games themselves as Mario. Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I baked cake for you. Yeah, no, it's Mario. You're wrong. You're entitled to your wrong opinion, I suppose, but it's Mario. Yeah, starting to hit these cracks and crevices. Damn. Damn. Canadians mostly. I watch a Canadian YouTuber that's very adamant about it being Mario. Damn. Ping, 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 ping. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. These birds have been screaming at me the whole day. Tomato, tomato. You know what? Yep. Sam. I nailed the shit out of that, didn't I? 95% now. I've got to go back up top. No, don't fall. Oh, Jesus. Let me back up just a hair. I missed this whole backside somehow. Now, how do I... okay. Let's see. Volcano is still active as shit over there. One of these days, that bitch is going to go off. Probably while we're in the middle of a job. Just scare the dookie out of me. Hey, my bucket! Now, how the hell am I supposed to get this without falling down? Like, how do I get the front of his face without falling off a cliff? This part's difficult. Because again, I don't know how I'm meant to do the face. Oh. Oh. Hello, old friend. I didn't even notice you sitting over there. The ladder's going to be in the way. I can move the ladder. You need to go right. There. Really? We almost walked off. Can I fix your PC? Maybe. What's wrong with it? What happened to it? We fixed my nephew's PC recently. $99%. Came back from Ireland and it didn't work. Oh, you mean like your laptop? Ooh. I don't know anything about laptops. I can't help you there. I can help you fix a desktop PC, but I can't help you with a laptop. That I know diddly about. And honestly, when it comes to PC, all I really know how to do is like diagnose the issue and replace parts. Can't do any soldering on actual boards and stuff like that, you know. Wait, you took your actual desktop PC with you to Ireland? That's brave. I wouldn't have done that. I'd be too scared. I would not trust me or the airlines for that. Not that my PC is great or anything. It's just, you know, if something were to happen to it, I can't replace this shit. Oh, you left PC at home. What the hell? I'm misunderstanding your story completely. So you went to Ireland and came back and the PC just didn't work when you got home. That's the story. Why am I dumb? No, I fell. You were really simple with it and I had to go and make it complicated. So dumb. No. No. Now we're going to be doing this forever. Trying to find these tiny little areas. Lord. Please don't fall. Storm while you were going. You don't have a surge protector? Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. You never run a PC without a surge protector. Probably should have also unplugged everything while you were gone, too. I don't mean that in a condescending way. I just mean it in like a, it couldn't have hurt way. I heard how it sounded as soon as I said it. See if I can get close enough. Which one's the jiggly? There we go. Now let's see. All right, what's left? Anything around? No. No. Why don't they? I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. It may not be something they can do. I don't know enough about electricity. Let's see. God damn it. Of course, the ears. I don't see any dirt on the ear. Where? 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 Well, shit, he's kind of standing at somewhat of a slight angle. Ah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of dirt. A lot of dirt that I can't reach. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, one more flight. Can I reach it from here? No. Yeah, I wish everybody used the same universal outlets and plugs. It is kind of annoying. Look, I don't know how you expect me to get to that. Like the bitch is standing at an angle. I can't. I don't know what you want me to do with this information, game. Like, what you want me to do? I can't reach his ear from here. Yeah, see, I can't reach. Nowhere. I can't stand anywhere that's going to reach. Fucking hell. Lord. Low it, 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 low it. Fucking, I hate this part of the job. I don't see any dirt in there. You bitch. Ugh. Where? Try that bird. Helmet and necklace. Okay, we're down to the wire. Helmet and necklace. I can do this. I can get the helmet and the necklace. Okay. I'm not seeing any. I bet it's on the back side. What you want to bet? I hear my neighbor's dog is barking. Where might there still be? Got it. Helmets. Helmet slabs. I do like being able to just jump across right there. Nope. What's the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath? I have no idea. Oh. Wait. I don't see any dirt. The fuck? Um, 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 guys? Uh, um, where's he shooting to? Is he shooting towards the volcano? I think he's shooting towards the volcano. Oh.